Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in again. Had a couple of weeks off, had a great time with my daughter and my wife away fishing and camping and playing and finding other hobbies. I thought I'd come back reinvigorated, but struggling a bit, to be honest. So hang a tidy up day. Here's what I've been up to so far. All right, so I've just been out for a fly. I did 6 touch and goes. So I haven't flown the cruiser much at all lately. Hasn't been on charge or anything, but lit the tire. What do they say? Light the fires, kick the tires, light the fires, and away we went. Went for an hour. Fantastic. Now I'm moving some furniture around. So my completed wings, I've wrapped up. The towels, I had towels laying on them over there. Stuck a bit to the paint. So I've wrapped these up. Put them in the racks, covered them with a drop sheet. I've got to be a bit careful pushing the cruiser back in. I don't like moving stuff because you could hit things. So I've pushed the Camel further forward. I'm going to drag in. This is why I'm a bit despondent, I guess, because I don't know, 3 months to get the wings complete. Not sure. Might have been quicker. Who's counting? I've got to do exactly the same to these wings and another 2 ailerons to go. A little bit daunting and I'm a little bit unenthused about that because I know what's involved. I want to get onto the fun stuff over here. That's okay. I called in to see my neighbour. He gave me some flashing. He was going to make me up a piece for the firewall, but we discussed it. We've come up with a plan. I found some down at Bunnings, got some machine gun mounts. Unbelievable. They have those, they sell those in the plumbing section for your Vickers. Who would have thought? And another couple of 100mm downpipe clamps in the Vickers machine, or Vickers, what am I calling it? Bolt-on, in the bolt-ons for my lovely pair of bolt-ons in the bolt-on aisle at Bunnings. So welcome back. Let's get doing something. Get motivated. Let's go. All right. Bit of normality back. Got the aircraft in the hangar. Again, Camel situated there. Firewall piece. We've got some work to do there. But I'll get the wings covered. One wing is in the tent out of the way. The next wing is on the bench. These are slightly different. I'm going to have the compression strut poking out at the root here. So what do I need to do? I need to make my landings, you know the drill, for the covering in here. Worked out well on the last one. There's no panels on this wing, which is good. Well, the panels are fixed, like here. Just get glued on, cover over that, paint, soldering iron out those slots. Got to remember back to all this sort of stuff. I need to do the buttons to keep these wires separated. That needs a bit of a tweak. Just looking as to what's been lock wired and what hasn't. Notice I've got one there, but I reckon they need a half a turn. My aileron cable is in the wing. Interestingly, you have to be careful. I'm just looking at that. It can't really go around anything. Get all the swarf out. You see the swarf in there. Got my anchor nuts for the root panel. I can still do a panel on the bottom if I need to. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. What else? Bandage it all up. Check everything's flush, not poking out. All my corners. Tap things like this. Will get tapped down, persuaded with a hammer. These are better off up proud, so the fabric pushes them down. Once the fabric's on, you can't pull them up, if that makes sense. I've learnt that this trailing edge sort of gets a bit paper mache-ish, if that's a word. Also, I noticed on the other wing, this corner, this tube here, needs to be taken care of because the fabric does just brush on that. You can tell I built these wings second because these are pretty good. Well, that's beautiful there. So I get all the anti-chafe tape, drill all my holes for the rib stitching, must not forget that. And I think we're going to be strong enough there because of that extra work I've done. So there's no cross bracing. So all I really need to do is fill this gap. That might be as simple as a bit of sheet metal this time. Down both sides. On this side, because I've got all this space, I can just rivet. Yeah, I'll just rivet some metal on. Face this, the root rib basically. That'll be good. And just come around the compression strut. I think that'll be the way to go. Very nervous when I go to offer the wings up, they don't fit again. When I lifted those wings to put in the rack, obviously, you start to wonder how I'm going to get them up there, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So for now, I'm going to have a play with this wing. All right, what are we on? Bottom wing, bottom surface, right-hand wing. Just gone through, I've lock wired, made sure all my split pins are done. Split pin 4 turnbuckles, lock wired 4 turnbuckles. Split pin the eye end, the green tape tells me where I'm going to do the turnbuckle up to, roughly, to put it back in rig. My aileron cable is here. A few people have asked about the cable system. It's a closed loop system. So it comes out the stick to the bottom aileron, up a push rod to the top aileron, connected by a cable right the way through, down the push rod and back to the stick. So just a big square loop, if you imagine. So it's pull. So I need to do the roots. So I'm going to make something up here. Also this time I just decided to tap these over with the hammer. Doesn't look fantastic, but it just gets them out of the way rather than grinding them off. I'll just tap them down. Same as this edge here in the light, I've gone along and just tin tap the edge just to give it a bit of a radius, a bit of a head start before I tape it all up. But now I just need, or I want to, just put some landings for my covering around these two. We'll drill the holes for the rib stitching or rivets and flip it over, do the same on the other side. So my cardboard templates, bear in mind I've got a bit of a profile happening here, so I'll make this out of the thinnest sort of material I've got as a jabberoo runs up outside. And is left over from the bottom wing, but I'll make a piece, so I've got to add a 1/4 inch at the top there. Make that fit nicely in there. Cut out 2 each of those. Right, from cardboard to the shapes, just need to clean those up. A bit second hand there. We'll clean up that circle so it fits on, but then they'll go on there nicely, and it allows it to flex around the compression strut. Just give me a nice landing for my covering. The next wing will go quicker because these will be on the shelf ready to go. All right, it's always good, just a couple of minutes work. Nice landing there, nice landing here. So it's flat at the back and stretched over the compression strut at the rear. Next step, probably when I flip it over, I give it what I call the Don Watson special. G'day Don, he's building Frankenstein up in Queensland. Just tap. When I flip it over, it'll be a bit easier, but you get a nice, like up here, nice sort of radius on everything. Bear in mind, this all now gets touched up with the chafe tape, which builds up a fair bit. It almost covers the rivet heads, like hides the rivet heads. But happy with that. I've got something to glue to now. Almost time to glue a rib. No, it's not. Don't get ahead of myself. I've got to drill all the holes now for the rib stitching, and flip it over and just check I haven't missed anything on the top surface. And I just go around, like I said before, give everything the Don Watson. So spacing out the rib stitching, prop wash area is different to the airflow area, if that makes sense. So I've just gone with 80 inches. I've got 800 mil this is. I've got an 80-inch prop, so 40 inches for argument's sake. Basically where the tailplane comes out to, because I've classed the tailplane as in the prop wash. The rib spacing, I use these bits of balsa. I've got a 2.5, and they're 1 inch thick. So 1 inch from any edge gives me the 1 inch I've marked all the way along. And on these 2 inboard ribs, I'll do 2.5 inch spacing, and I just go along like I've done up here. Tick, 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 tick. I know you can run a chalk line and all that sort of stuff, but by the time I've said what I've said here, you have it done. And then these ones out here will be at 3 inch spacing. It's only 1/2 inch difference, but probably ends up 1 or 2 rivets less. And that's just going by the book. So a lot of holes to drill and deburr, vacuum it all up, flip it over, do the same on the other side. Okay, we are ready to cover. So I've drilled all my holes. I didn't film any of that, but it's pretty straightforward. All my holes in the ribs. Took an hour or so. Now I'm just cleaning the bench. I vacuum it. Now I'm about to blast it off with air before the compressor kicks in. I'll get this little video out. Yeah, blow it all off with air. I'll blow out all the orifices, if you like, all the holes, and get in everywhere with the dusting pistol. Get rid of most of the swarf, or as much as I can. See what happens, all the swarf falls inside the rib, as you can imagine. Then when you flip the wing over, only needs one piece to pop out, and it'll stick on your leading edge. Hopefully today, then I'll cut the fabric, maybe put it aside, just get myself ready. I might start on the root rib, get the root rib fabriced up, and we'll see how we go. Okay, round 3, bit of a late start this morning. Shouted myself breakfast, just trying to pace myself a bit more. We've got the wing all bandaged up, ready to cover. I'll flip it over and we'll cover the bottom. I got the root rib covered last night. We'll take it from there. Okay, got practice for the Australia's Great Race on the TV. It's all good, very Australian. I've put a bead of glue all around the perimeter for the bottom skin to go on. Cheetah piece in my corner. What else? While I was waiting for the glue to tack off, which it has, I just cheated. I had some 1 inch tape, so I just used 1 inch tape, made a square around my circle, and I'll cut that hole out eventually. I think the holes, you know, if you paint over a hole, it causes a run, like a build-up. So I'll leave cut all the holes out after paint, I think. Get a cleaner job that way. Now I'm about to roll the fabric out, iron it down. You do have trouble with where the bandage is, or the anti-chafe tape. The glue soaks in and then becomes sort of useless. You sort of need 2 coats on there. But I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. And we'll lay the fabric on and start pinning it down. Won't be too long, this will look like a wing. All right, so got that tacked on all the way around with the iron into my 1/4 inch of glue on each side, on the edges. Just a nice little bead of glue. You sort of rub it in with your hand. Now I've gone all along and sealed it with the iron as I kick the bin over. So I've sealed it with the iron. So we're still all, you know, daggy and like an old shirt, but I'm happy with it. So what I'm going to do now is go around, I lay a bead of glue. Now theoretically you can leave, don't have to wipe that glue. But what I've found, if you don't wipe it, you can't touch it with the iron. This is where I waste a bit of glue, I think. So I brush the glue on, I wipe it in, because what's going to happen is the top's going to come down, and what do I need? I need a bead of glue for the top. But it's just nice to be able to run the iron and get it all nicely finished like a certified joint, and then lay another bead of glue for the top skin. Because don't forget, like, this is where, if you think about it, I've pre-glued it. That's one. Now I'm about to lay a bead of glue for this fabric, which will be 2. I'm going to lay a bead of glue for the top fabric and then seal that, which will be 4. Then I'm going to run a tape around the edge, which will be 5, maybe 6 coats of glue just on one section and wiped off. So it sort of builds up. I know you could probably do it a lot easier, but I'm happy with that process because I don't want the fabric coming off, and it's worked for me so far. So wing number 3 underway. All right, bottom surface on, tensioned it down. That's the fun part. Laid a bead of glue, about to flip it over when that glue dries, and we'll put the top skin on. I'll give it a vacuum, get rid of all the swarf. I'll pay attention to the leading edge this time. Any stuff falls down inside there. I'm just waiting for that to tack off, roll it over, and that'll be pretty much covered today, or get the top skin tacked on at least. Come in tomorrow or next session, shrink it all down. You can see I probably should have done something with this tube here, but anyway, here's what it is. That's what tapes are for. It's really nice to get the covering on instead of looking at that like I've been looking at for ages. Yeah, there's 150 parts staring at you. Get it back to just one flat playing field. It's nice. All right, let's flip it over, cut some fabric for the top. Okay, top skin is on. Got the iron on. Pays just to double check. My $7 iron hasn't had a brain fade, so we're on about 280. That'll do for the initial shrink of 250. And it tends to just come together eventually. You pretty much have to touch every square inch, and the leading edge where the metal is sucks the life out of the iron, or the heat. But you sort of start to think it's not working, and then you look up and it's basically done. When you do get some wrinkles like down here, you're better off pulling. No, don't go on the wrinkle. Pull from over here and it'll come out, believe it or not. And even from way back here. So I'll come back to those. It's a bit hard with one hand as usual. And I do the ribs just to get that bit of material. And if you've got any burrs on your ribs, you're about to find out. It's almost knockoff, so I'll suck all this down. I might run some thin glue. No, I won't, because I have to do this 3 or 4 times. I'll just get this looking nice, clean up, come back tomorrow with some fresh eyes, go over the perimeter, and then we'll shrink it down to 350 Fahrenheit. Alright, so I'm going to stand here and iron this, and I'm sure you guys don't want to see that, but I'll check back in once I get that looking good. Alright guys, as I turn off the TV, walk around, do my pack up. Got the wing covered here. Not a bad day's work. Both sides of the wing covered, I think, today, did I? I think I had the root rib done when I started today and covered both sides. So it's now 3 o'clock. I started at 9, had about 4 cups of coffee. Good time. I need to shrink that 3 times. I do it 300 and then up to about 320, something like that. With this structure, it's a little bit, it's not strong enough to go the full shrink. So I just take it up till it feels good, basically. 300 plus, about 3. I got it marked on the iron, so they're all the wings are the same. And we all know that I bent the rudder post. I've over shrunk that. It doesn't look good. It looks great. So there you go. I'm still alive, still pushing on, trying to get enthusiastic. What's that? Let's say we've got 5 wings. So we're on number 4 of 5. 1 to go and 2 ailerons. Then we'll get into some fun stuff. Thanks for watching.